I just watched the Flash versus Arrow Flash episode on The Flash. They're doing a two-part crossover event. The Flash episode was on Tuesday, December 2nd. The Arrow episode just actually finished airing on today, Wednesday, December 3rd. And I'm going to kind of give my reactions to both episodes. I haven't watched the Arrow yet, and it may be tomorrow or even Friday before I do. But I did just finish the Flash episode, and holy crap, it was awesome. I had some criticism for it, but it's one of those things that I don't feel my criticism is necessary. It's very clear that the shows have two different personalities, and they kind of exemplified that in that the whole deal of them not liking the Arrow because he's a very violent brute force vigilante, whereas Barry's this hopeful peacemaking superhero or what have you. But that difference in personality of the show also goes into how the characters react. Now, the cast of these shows have always had a comedic twist on them, especially Mr. John Diggle from the Arrow show. However, there was an especially comic book-esque feel to them in The Flash that I really don't feel is normally there on the Arrow. Now, this is a good thing. This is certainly a good thing. It was just really weird to see. Like in the start of the episode, the Flash shows up and Diggle is just speechless. He's just like, holy crap, you're fast. And he's literally just staring at Barry. And then he makes a comment later about this isn't freaking you out right now or something. And it's just, totally pure comedic and things like that. And again, it was good. It was funny. It just felt very comic booky that I personally don't feel was normally in Arrow. Like I said, I like it. It was very interesting to see. And so it may be interesting to see in the Arrow episode, which, like I said, I'll be watching before I record the rest of this video. It'll be interesting to see if any of the Flash characters carry over and act any different in the Arrow directorship, or if that was just coincidence, or if that was just an extra funny line and I'm reading too much into it. But to me, it felt a lot more comic booky. It was really cool to see Arrow interact with metahuman stuff and actually acknowledge it. I don't know that that's going to carry over past the crossover episode that aired tonight into the Arrow universe or not, because technically they are the same universe, but they don't do a whole lot of acknowledgement of each other after that point. I really liked that that Oliver mentioned that something is really off about Wells. I'm still trying to figure out what the heck that is. Nobody seems to know at this point, and there were some images that were leaked of a promo that basically confirmed that Wells isn't Reverse Flash, but also potentially Eddie isn't Reverse Flash, which, reading into his character so far, there's no reason to believe that he's the Reverse Flash, but I've kind of been hanging on to that idea because everything in the DC universe for these two shows has been very deliberate, and Eddie's name is Eddie Thawne, Thawne. The Reverse Flash in the comic books was Eodard Thawne, Thawne, and Eddie would, of course, easily be a nickname for that. And yet he's not the Reverse, because in the promo images, it shows the Reverse Flash with this weird border around him, Wells, Joe, and Eddie having guns pointed at him. So I'm not sure. I'm kind of blown away, and I'm confused as to figure out which Reverse Flash they're using. Because, of course, there are different Flashes and Reverse Flashes in the universe. That was just the most common one. And since they were using the name Eddie Thawne, I don't know how you say it. I assumed that's what they were going for. So that's going to be interesting. I still want to know what the heck is up with Wells. Because obviously he figured out who Oliver was pretty quickly. So I don't know. I can't quite figure out who he is yet. And there's been no mention yet, which may have happened in Arrow, of how Ray Palmer is going to turn into the Atom and go over to the Flash universe. It was neat to see that that the Arrow team were hunting Captain Boomerang, although I was kind of disappointed they didn't actually make any continuous reference. They just dropped it. It's like, oh, we were working this case, and then they stopped working it. In the episode when they first tested or in the Plastique episode when they were testing what plastique could explode, Danielle Panabaker, Caitlin, she even held up a boomerang that looked just like the boomerang for Captain Boomerang. It was just like, what is this? You didn't think this through, did you? As a very clear Easter egg. But it was pretty much the exact same one, and then they didn't acknowledge any of that with the actual Captain Boomerang one, so And it was cool to see a Firestorm little blurb. I assume that he is going to be in the mid-season finale, so that'll be interesting to see how that goes, especially since they put so much focus on Caitlin thinking about Robbie again, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I'm super stoked for the Arrow episode, so I'm going to go ahead and cut to me after me watching that. I may be in a different shirt and things because it may be a different day. Well, it will definitely be a different day. Yeah, and the mid-season finale of Arrow has Oliver and Ra's al Ghul facing off shirtless in the snow, so ladies can look forward to that. Okay, time for the Arrow. Alright, I could be crazy, but I feel like more happened in the Flash episode than the Arrow as far as storyline and stuff goes, and that's kind of confusing, because often I feel it's the opposite. It was kind of cool that they put up Captain Boomerang in the same prison as Deathstroke, which likely, adds to the implication that they're going to come back soon, because I believe it's the episode after the mid-season finale or the mid-season finale, I keep forgetting which one, is focused on the rogues, and Captain Boomerang is one of the rogues. Maybe Deathstroke's going to join them? I don't know. They made reference to Suicide Squad again, which is kind of cool, except they implied that they eliminated all of the previous members, which not sure how it works. Speaking of which, they did cast characters for the actual Suicide Squad movie, and Will Smith is supposed to play Deadshot. We'll see. We will see. And Jared Leto as the Joker, and then some other people that I honestly don't recognize and haven't paid attention to just yet, because the movie's kind of far off. However, it's also noted that the Flash will, and maybe a couple other heroes will be in Batman vs. Superman to help establish Justice League, and they just finished, or they're about to finish filming Batman vs. Superman. I don't know, lots of stuff with that, but Flash vs. the Arrow. It was a cool episode, and it certainly did continue that idea, not necessarily with, well, yeah, with the characters. They continued that trend I talked about where it's very clear how different the universes are. And in the Flash episode, it was very much focused on feelings and personal relationships and happy things. Kind of like the Arrow, not so much the happy stuff, but the relationships. Kind of like Arrow was in the first season-ish. But, huge focus on Starling City is a lot grittier and darker, and violence and death is more prevalent and things like that. And so it was nice to see them. It meshed pretty well, in my opinion. I don't know. I'm somewhat left with the feeling, like I said, that not a whole lot happened, and so I don't have a whole lot. It was kind of another Arrow episode. I don't know. I'm super looking forward to the Ra's al Ghul versus Oliver Queen duel. Obviously, Oliver Queen's not going to die, but honestly, there was nothing too spectacular to say about. They caught Captain Boomerang. They saved the day. It was cool seeing Captain Boomerang in action. It was cool seeing the Flash and Arrow team up this time without fighting each other about it. It worked really, really well. Arrow hood, well, not the hood got left the same, but Arrow gear got upgraded, and Cisco mentioned there might be more upgrades. They're going to track down DNA for who killed Sarah, which is probably going to lead to Ra's al Ghul and therefore all that stuff, or they just don't find anything at all. I still personally believe that Ra's al Ghul is who killed Sarah. Not necessarily him himself, but convinced someone to, or what have you, because he was very much against her existing, pretty much. And so I think that's why Oliver's going to be so insistent on continuing to try to stop him and therefore fight him and potentially kill him, although I seriously doubt that's going to happen. They're just going to come to a peace treaty, or I don't freaking know. But yeah, it was pretty exciting. Okay, let me know if you, like I said, I really don't know what to say about the Arrow episode. It was an Arrow episode with the Flash. it was really cool seeing the whole team together. Having Flash, Arsenal, Diggle, and Arrow all together at once was freaking badass, but that's about it. If you want to see more of my ramblings on Flash Arrow episodes, FLARROW episodes, let me know in the comment section down below, I guess. Otherwise, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.